Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone is doing well, enjoying the weather. And thank you for all your nice messages on Monday. I feel much better. So we're gonna start on the floor today. Just take it a little bit easy today. Just to be on the safe side and just come to your back. Put something down if you need to. Always being mindful, especially, yes, I've definitely learned uh, just a reminder to always be aware of your body and how you're feeling. And if you ever feel like any lower back pain, just stopping what you're doing. Because I think that's really the mistake I made was not understanding that I was a little bit injured and then doing too much and making myself more injured. So yeah, just always trying to stay mindful. It's a good idea. So just come down to your back, and you can bring the soles of your feet together, or bring those feet wide, knees kind of collapse inwards, or just take those legs straight. Kind of get comfortable, and then once you're there, just go ahead and take a big inhalation into that belly. And then exhale, just sink down into the mat. Gently close the eyes, soften through the face. Just start to follow those waves of breath from your tailbone up to the top, to the crown of your head. So we're inhaling, expanding that rib cage, pressing that navel up to the ceiling. And then working our way up to the lungs, the chest. Breathing, imagine that the breath just traveling up to the top of your head, the crown of the head. And exhale. And release. Exhale from the top of the head. Drawing that navel in. And just continue with those waves of breath. Maybe bringing one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest to just feel the breath as it fills up the belly, fills up the lungs. Exhale through those lungs. Empty that chest, empty the belly. And inhale, feel that navel press up towards the ceiling again. Expand the chest, really filling every last millimeter of the chest, of the lungs up with oxygen. Just expanding and just allowing that breath to bring you into the present moment. On the exhalation, just feeling calmness, releasing into that, into the moment, into the mat. On the next exhalation, just releasing any to-do lists, worries, concerns, just letting everything go, just for the next hour. Just making that decision to just exhale everything away, exhale and release. Another inhalation, really filling up maybe a little more than you thought you even could. Through the belly, through the chest. And then that exhalation, just releasing a little bit more into the mat. letting everything go, sink down into the mat just a little bit. Just a few more rounds of that breath, that ujjayi breathing, just starting at the belly, working our way up to the chest. Just keeping our awareness on the breath, watching the breath. The exhalation, empty the chest, draw that navel in. The inhalation, just one more round of breath, really challenging your belly and your chest to fill up. Maybe imagining that oxygen is spreading down through your arms to your fingertips. On the exhalation, just releasing, emptying the chest, draw that navel in into the belly. And then just come back to your normal breathing. You can keep your eyes closed for a few breaths here. Go ahead and rock that head from side to side. Just kind of softening through the neck. Massage the back of the head. Notice if you're holding any tension in your face and just release the jaw, the cheeks. And from here, we're going to bend those knees. Take those feet kind of towards the edges of the mat. And just hands up to the sides. And we're going to just start to rock those knees from side to side. And loosening, just to kind of stretching through the sides to the low back, and also kind of loosening up the low back at the same time. Hands can go to the sides, on the belly. And take this as slowly or as kind of quickly as you like, but I'm starting nice and slow, just feeling that stretch through the side, through the front of that quad, through the front of the hip. And feel the bottoms of the feet. Notice they're attached to the mat. Kind of notice the bottoms rolling. Bottoms of the feet just kind of rolling from side to side. Like a little massage on the bottoms of your feet. And then let those knees just fall over to the right side of the body. You can tap those arms. You can always move those hips back towards the center. You can keep those legs wide or bring them a little bit together. Just want a pretty easy little stretch here, so shouldn't feel too intense. We're just releasing into that stretch. Nice, deep, even breaths into the belly. You can close your eyes for a few breaths here, softening again through that face. One more easy breath here, just releasing into that stretch. Quick mental body scan. Just check in with your shoulders, back, low back, hips. And inhale the knees up. Move the hips back to center if you adjusted at all, and then go ahead and rock those knees from side to side. Feeling that stretch, feeling that length that we're creating through the back. Pressing through the foot to kind of make that stretch just a little bit, not intense, just a little bit more, just kind of making that stretch just, I want to say more intense, tiny bit more intense. And drop those knees to the other side. Once again, we take those arms out to a cactus or a T, or just leave them on your belly. Just notice any difference. Do you feel a little looser in that low back and the hips? Soften through the cheeks, the jaw. And bring those knees back up. We're going to lengthen those legs and then bring those ankles over to the right side of the mat. So you can scooch those shoulders over. You just cross that ankle over as an option. Reach up, and then you can just step the hands here or even grab that left wrist and kind of pull. We're just opening up through all the joints. Feeling that opening in the left side of the body. Continuing to take those nice long breaths. Breathe into the belly. You can close your eyes again here for a breath or two. And release. Just scooch everything back to center and move over to the other side. Just come into where you're comfortable. Maybe those ankles are together or across that ankle. And then reaching out through those fingertips. You can grab that right wrist or just reach those fingertips together and we'll just open and breathe into that right side of the body. Soften that gaze up towards the ceiling or just gently close the eyes. Nice, deep, even breaths into the belly. Creating space in the right side of the body. Breathing into any tight areas. If you need to ease up a little bit on that stretch, just moving everything back in towards the center. This doesn't have to be a really intense stretch. We just want to feel opening space being created through that right side of the body. And release and move everything back to the center. Bend those knees. Really pull that navel in, engage that core, and then pull those knees up towards the chest. And press those knees down and up towards the chin. Just rock a few times from side to side. And then we'll just take those knees in a counterclockwise circle. You should feel that massage on the back. And then opposite direction. And pulling those knees up. Let those fall down away from the chest. Let those knees fall apart, softening through those hip flexors. You should feel a nice kind of softening and then pulling those knees up. And let those knees fall away, just kind of grabbing those knees, letting those arms be oars. We just soften. And both knees just take their own circular paths for a few iterations here. You really should feel nice, kind of like a gentle stretch on those hip flexors. Not even just a stretch, just feel in the hip flexors relaxing as they fall apart as you pull them up to the chest. And release, let that left foot come down. Pull that right knee down and up towards the chest. Inhalation, exhale, bring that nose up into towards the center. And release. Lengthen through that right leg. Press through that heel. Leg can be bent, maybe almost straight. Grab in here or here. Pressing down through that left foot. Maintain contact with that left foot from the mat. Left knees pointing up to the ceiling. And we're lengthening through the back of that right leg. Maybe keeping a nice, gentle bend. And release, bring that ankle down to the knee. Gently press that knee away from the body, maintaining contact with the lower back to the mat. So gentle tuck of that tailbone. Let those ribs, the rib cage, lower rib cage feel heavy. And maintaining contact here. Keep that right foot flexed. And once again, taking your awareness to your face, soften to the cheeks, to the jaw. And release that right foot down. Pull that left knee down, down and up towards the chin. Inhale, engage that core and bring that nose up towards the knee. And release. Gently lengthen through that left leg and press to that heel. And taking that leg to the spot that's comfortable. Maybe a little bend, maybe straighter. Maintaining contact with that right foot in the mat. Just take your awareness to the bottom of that right foot, where it's connected to the mat. And open, soften to the back of that left leg. More easy breath here. Maybe pressing just a little bit more through that heel. And release. Bring that ankle to that knee and press that left knee away from the body, maintaining that contact with the lower back to the mat. And breathe. And close your eyes or just soften that gaze once again towards the ceiling. And release. Bring that left foot down. And from here, we're going to lengthen that right leg. We're going to roll over onto the right side of our body. You can kind of just bring that right arm long. You can even kind of rest your head here on your bicep. What we really want to do is kind of bend that left leg and then press that foot into the hand. So it's just a kind of gentle, this shouldn't be intense, kind of quad. So we just want to open up through here, through the front of the hip. Pressing into the hand. And that lengthening. Bend this right knee a little bit if you feel like you're going to fall forward a little bit. We're going to be here or here, here. So whatever helps you kind of open up to the front of that left hip and that left quad. Breathe. Your mind has wandered away from your breathing. Just take that awareness back. Nice, deep, even breaths. And release. Go ahead and we'll just roll over onto the other side. So just working your way to the other side. You can always bend that bottom leg so you have more support. And then kind of bring that hand into that right foot into that right hand. Lengthening through the front of that right quad. Just opening, find that opening in the front of the hip, all the way down to the knee. And release. And bring both those feet down. Pull those knees up towards the chest. Grab the tops of those knees. And roll a few times. Just kind of rolling up that back. And slowly and gently cross those ankles. And we'll come up to a seated position. And then go ahead and if you want to sit on something, kind of help like that's that helps you kind of keep your sternum lifted. Keep a nice lengthened spine. Go ahead and just grab some extra cushion or blanket or towel. And just rocking from right to left. Really kind of planting yourself into that mat. And let those sit bones attached to the mat. Inhaling, reaching up, lengthening through the sternum, lifting through the sternum, and then lengthening through the crown of that head. That pretend string is pulling up. And exhale, bring that right ear down to that right shoulder. Really gentle, reach out through those left fingertips. And add that hand. Just being aware of how our neck feels. Breathing into all of these muscles that connect to the neck, to the shoulder, to the traps, to the chest. And release. Gently come up. And switch sides. So we're going to inhale, lengthen. Lift and then exhale. Bring that ear down. Reach those right fingertips. Bring that right hand over. And soften to that right side of the neck. And release. Gently come back up. Right. Inhale up. Press those palms together. Hook those thumbs into heart center. Inhale. So you connect that breath with the movements. Exhale. Inhale. Coming to a V and then pulling those elbows down and back, feeling that opening in front of the shoulders. Inhale back up. And then gently bringing those hands to the back of the head and just bring that chin in towards that chest. And lengthen through the back of the neck. Still lifting through the sternum. Keeping those breaths nice and easy. And release the hands. Lift through the crown of the head and we'll exhale. Bring the chin back down to the chest and start to draw those circles counterclockwise into the air, the nose, just softening through the neck. Be really careful, mindful. There should be no pinching, no pain. Keeping a nice, engaged core. Just feeling every muscle where it attaches to the neck. Lengthen and soften. And slowly, gently, carefully change directions. Nice, big circles. Softening through the neck. You can close your eyes. Just soften, make sure you're keeping your face nice and loose and softened. And change direction. And one more time. Just a few more circles in the counterclockwise direction. And make those circles smaller, coming back to center. Inhaling, lifting through the sternum, through the crown of the head, and exhale, coming forward. So just bring those hands right in front of your shins or right in front of your feet. And then just finding what's available to you today. Maybe you're just staying here. You can feel that softening through the hip flexors, through the hips. Maybe you want to walk a little bit forward. Be mindful of that low back. No discomfort. Lengthening through the back of the neck. You can crawl those fingers forward if you like. Breathe into those tight areas. Maintain those nice long breaths. If you wander away from the breath, just bring your awareness back. And walk those hands over to the right. Pulling back through that left hip, reaching through those left fingertips. Breathe into the belly. And come back through center. Just walk over to the other side. Inhale into the belly, release any tight areas. Once again, notice if you're holding any tension in your face. Softening that gaze towards the floor, toward your hands. And walk those hands back. And just swap those hands back in. You bring the hands to the knees. And bring those arms up, so strong through the core. And then bring that right hand down. And then just reach over with that left arm. So we're reaching up and over. Coming down to that spot that helps you open, that allows you to keep both of those hips really connected to the mat. And gently open, spin open, pull that thumb back. Pull that chest or gaze up towards the ceiling, heart opens. And releasing that hand down to that knee. Just gonna bring that hands around towards the back. And lift through the sternum and then take a gentle twist towards the back of the room, or towards the back of the mat. So we're engaging that core, lifting through the crown of the head, creating space in between those vertebrae, just lengthening, feeling that length in the spine. On the exhalation, feeling that twist, that gentle twist of all those muscles around the spine. One more inhalation here, lengthening. One more exhalation, just twisting a little bit more. And release. We're going to slowly unwind. Inhale up those arms and exhale, bring that left hand down, reach over. So we're reaching up and then over. And coming down. Maybe you can come down all the way to your elbow. Just really planting those hips into the mat. Spin open, pull that thumb back, gaze up towards the ceiling, open the chest, open the heart. Nice deep breath into the belly. And then releasing into that twist on the other side, bring the hand down. Move this left hand towards the back. Inhale through the sternum to the top of the crown of the head. And then take that gaze towards the back of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Create spacing between those vertebrae. Exhale. Just taking that gaze a little further towards the back. And release, gently unwind. From here, bring those arms up. Quickly, just take a shoulder stretch. So just dropping that right hand, reaching up through that right elbow. Softening that gaze just past the nose a few inches. And release, shake them out. Inhale up again. Just waking up the arms, drop that left hand, lift up through that elbow. And release, shake those arms out. And we want to work into a tabletop position. So take your time. If you need extra cushioning, just putting that down under your knees, under your wrists. Take your time getting there. Spread out those fingers, knees under the hips. Press down to the tops of those feet. Inhale, take that belly down, pull those shoulders back. Open that chest for cow. And exhale. Bring that chin in, around the spine. Just pulling that navel in up towards the ceiling for cat. Inhale back to cow. Just taking a nice stretch to that spine. And exhale, round. Just taking a few more rounds at your own pace. Just inhaling into that cow, exhaling into that cat, just warming up all those muscles around the spine. And just starting to move any way that feels good, maybe in a circular motion, maybe taking that gaze over their shoulders. And coming back to a neutral position. I'm just going to just ease those hips back. And inhale, come forward, a little stretch on the wrists. Exhale, and then ease those hips back. Ease those hips back. Press to the top of those feet. And then forward one more time. Feeling that stretch in the wrists. And then from here, just walking those hands forward. We're going to go into puppy. So we're just letting that forward melt down towards the mat. And then gently coming up from here, just threading that right arm underneath the left. And we're bringing that right elbow down, right shoulder down to the mat. So just letting that shoulder melt and soften into the mat. Nice deep breaths. Continue with those nice deep breaths into the belly. One more breath, just letting that shoulder melt one more time. And then we'll bend that left arm, press up, reach forward with that right arm, and we'll thread the needle. Bring that left shoulder down, soften that left shoulder. Let that melt. Breathe into the belly. And just allowing every muscle in the shoulder to release and relax, surrender into the mat. And go ahead and bend that right arm. And from here, into that tabletop. We're going to make our way into a downward facing dog. So go ahead and tuck those toes. You can move anything out of the way if you need to. Spread out those fingers, protect those wrists, and then lengthen those legs. Go ahead and start to walk the dog. Alternate those heels on the mat. Open up the backs of the legs. Soften. You can micro bend in the arms if you need to. And then just pressing through those heels either on or off the mat. Walk those feet up to the hands. Strong into the legs. Just taking a nice ragdoll to soften the top of your body, soften the neck. Nod and shake your head. And release those arms. Inhale, take a gaze forward. And then exhale, we're just going to step that left foot back. Lift through that back hamstring. And release that knee down. You can keep your hands on either side of your foot or bring them up to the top of your knee if you like. Just want to soften through those hips. And then gently pulling those hips back. And taking those right toes up to the ceiling, working our way into a half split. Keep that left hip over the knee, softening through the back of that right knee. Lift through the crown of the head, keeping a nice longish spine, doesn't have to be perfectly straight. And release, come forward. I'm going to bring those hands to the inside of the foot, heel to that out to the edge. Let's take a few breaths into lizard pose here. Softening through that right hip flexor. And then go ahead, heel to that back into center. I'm going to tuck the back toes, come into a lunge, and then from here, I'm just going to step that left foot up to meet that right foot. And then just really easily stepping that right foot back, bring that back knee down. And then staying here, letting those hips fall forward, or you can always come up and bring those hands to the top of that knee. So whatever feels the best today. Pulling back through that left hip crease, letting the front of that right hip just soften. And breathe. Nourish your breath. And then slowly bring those hips back. And just kind of reorganizing yourself to get into that half split. So those left toes come up to the ceiling. Softening to the back of that left knee. Pulling that heart forward. Lengthening through the back of the neck. And release. Let those hips fall forward. Notice if you feel any difference in the hips, a little softer. And then bring that hand to the inside. Heel to that foot out to the outside. And just let those hips fall forward. We're softening through that left hip flexor. And you can always bring that foot out at an angle or let that knee come out if you're really flexible. Just staying here should be enough work, enough of a stretch. And release. Heel to that foot back into the center. From here, we're gonna really engaging that core and then lifting up. We're gonna bring those knees together. And we're going to just come to a seated position, bring those legs out in front. Coming to Dandasana, just front fold. So really pressing those hands down strong, keeping those arms strong, legs strong. You can lift up over the head and hinge at the hips, hinge, and then you can bring your hands down to the shins, just slide those forward. Lengthen through the back of the neck, from the nose down towards the knees, towards the shins. And drop those feet if that's available to you. Just whatever helps you feel you're in it. And you still want to be engaging through those legs, sucking up those kneecaps. Pulling this navel in and seeing if this nose comes closer to the shins. And release. Come up and then we'll bring the palms of the feet together for a quick Baddha Konasana. So really lifting, wrapping your hands around those feet. And then we'll just come forward. And this could be really small movements. Maybe you're keeping that nice long spine, but really getting that nose a lot closer to the floor. Just pressing those knees away from the body. Engage. Pull that navel towards the spine. See if the nose comes a little closer. And breathe. Breathe into those hips. Breathe into the belly. And release. Bring those legs out in front. I'm going to grab the backs of the hamstrings and just roll back. Bring those feet down, and then for a bridge pose, we're going to press those arms on the side of our body. And we're going to press through all four corners of our feet and inhale up those hips up towards the ceiling. So we're really engaging those glutes, the hamstrings, the arms, the palms, everything. With every inhalation, taking those hip points just closer up to the ceiling, keeping those legs, those thighs parallel. You don't want them kind of falling out to the sides. One more nice breath here. And release. Pull those knees in. Rock a few times. And then dropping those knees to the right side of the body. And then kind of taking that twist any way you like. So you can take that top leg straightened and gaze in the opposite direction. You can even move those hips back towards the center, those knees together. Just find that twist that you can release into. Breathe, release. And pulling those knees back to center. Center those hips, pull those knees back up. And then we'll bring those arms to a T and just let those knees drop to the other side. So then adjusting You might want to pull those hips back towards the center or straighten that top leg, take that gaze in the opposite direction. Just finding a way that allows you to fall to release into that spinal twist. And cactus your arms. And release. Pull those knees in. Just hug them one more time. You can have roll from side to side if that feels good. Grab the outside of the feet or the pant legs and come into a happy baby. Bring those knees towards those armpits. You can also kind of sway from side to side here. Letting that low back just feel like it's softening down towards the mat. And release, give those knees a hug. And then we'll just kind of come into Shavasana. So whichever position you'd like to take, you can bring something under your neck or under your head. If you feel like that helps you lengthen to the back of your neck. You can always bring the balls of the feet together, or just let those knees fall, or just keep the legs straight. Let those feet flop out to the sides. Open up those hands to the ceiling. Readjust those shoulders. Take a big breath into the belly. And release. Close the eyes. Let go. Sink into the mat. And start to follow the breath. And breathing into the belly, breathing in relaxation. On the exhalation, releasing, relaxing. Start to soften through the face, the jaw, the cheeks. Let those muscles around the eyes soften. Let your tongue be loose in your mouth. On the next exhalation, letting those shoulders melt and release down into the mat. And down the arms, biceps, triceps, forearms, palms, fingers, everything widens and softens and melts. Take your awareness to your back. Let it, all the muscles soften. All the way down to the low back, the hips, the hamstrings release, the back of the knees soften, calf muscles melt and widen, ankles, the feet soften, toes release and relax. Just continue to follow that breath. Breathe it in relaxation with every inhalation. With every exhalation, just releasing a little bit more to the pose and to the mat. And slowly start to bring your awareness back to your body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, rock your head from side to side. Bend your knees, roll over onto the right side of your body, and slowly push yourself up into a seated position. Bring your hands to heart center. On the next inhalation, gently open the eyes, blink a few times. Thanks for joining me this morning. And thanks again for your understanding on Monday. I will probably add a class either next Tuesday or Thursday. Not sure yet, but I'll know at the beginning of the week. So have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the sun and hope to see everyone on Friday morning.